Hello, this is Michał Kułakowski from Software Sales 101. I'm super excited today because I'm going to be talking to you about the most important concept of all of them that we're covering here, which is finding, building, and testing champions. Champions are greatly important, as we have learned in a past movie. These are the people who are ready to sell on your behalf at your customers when you're not there. Employees or team members of your customer who are, well, championing or fans of the thing that you're selling. Let me make a statement here, which might sound controversial, but my experience is true. You have never ever sold software without a champion. You might not know them, but if you closed the deal, there has been a champion in the organization selling on your behalf. So, knowing that we really need them, where do you start? First thing is looking for the champion. Champion needs to have that drive, that real need to support you, a reason. And a good way of looking for champions is looking for people who have a pain that you can address, who have problems that you can solve. And as you do it, as you are going through the organization, those people will show up eventually. You just need a key to filter them. Sometimes a good champion candidate is somebody who is challenging you, asking difficult questions, but fair questions. Why is that? Because if they're looking for a partner on the other end to achieve something, they need a person you can trust. And answering those questions with integrity is the way to get into that champion relationship. For it is a bidirectional relationship where you are doing something for them and they're doing something for you, as we're going to soon find out. Building a champion is mostly about understanding their agenda, and that happens on two levels. Number one is professional level. What is their role? What are they really responsible for? How is their success measured? How can your story help make their professional life better? A second part to that is the private level. What is this person really after? Do they need promotion? And maybe the project they are taking part is a way to get that promotion, get that visibility. Or maybe they have super stressful job that your software can make a little bit less risky, a little bit easier for them so that they can spend more time with their family or have better sleep. Or maybe their company is under such a pressure, in such a difficult corner situation, and if they don't adopt your software, they are risking going out of business, and this person basically just cares for the company, for the environment, for people around to stay there, to be able to keep working. Personal agendas are different, and they're most difficult to map because they require that initial trust to be going so that person is willing to share with you. But that is a powerful, powerful bond. Eventually, in order to be convinced that you really have a champion in the organization, you need to test them. Declarations are cheap. People tell different things. Testing a champion is asking them for a favor. For a favor which is bringing both of you closer to where you want to be. For example, a typical test could be asking your champion to get a meeting with a senior stakeholder. This is something they can do because they are in the organization, but it requires putting their reputation on the table for you. That is the test of that trusted relationship. So once you have a champion, what can they do for you? They are a pair of your eyes and ears. They're going to warn you for different signs which might derail your project. they're of course going to be repeating the message that you want them to repeat when you are not there. They can also help you build the evidence for specific things that you don't know how to prove. How many champions do you need? It's a tough question. We've been talking about multiple agendas and multiple stakeholders. Ideally, you get good coverage. But in practice, in reality, people who are winning the deals are people who are having better champions than the competition, even if the competition is doing nothing. And two things count here. You need to be careful about them. There is power and there is influence. Your champion comes with certain power. This is what his or her business card states. It's the place in the hierarchy in the organization. The higher the better, but it is not the only factor. The other one is the influence. There are certain people in the organizations, usually sitting there for long, who have enough authority that even if their business card does not justify that, they are respected and they are listened to. So don't get fooled by the business card only. Carefully look how your champion candidate interacts with the surrounding people. What is the reception to what he or she says? Influence sometimes can be worth its weight in gold and be more important than the sheer power. Building a champion and working with champions is all about integrity. It's all about being fair. Sometimes you might not win a deal, but the champion that you develop, because it's an honest people-to-people relationship, will follow you in his or her next professional life. I'll give you an example of that. I have been selling software to a bank some time ago, and I figured out a situation where there were two departments competing for their say in a project. The project was about selling them a monitoring software. There has been an infrastructure part and there has been an application part, and in the best interest of the company was to understand the agendas of both departments. However, internal politics caused one of those departments to be more vocal in this particular case. And I took a devil's advocate role and I started arguing that we're in a wrong place. We're really setting the criteria in a way which is contradictory with the organization's best interest. Despite there has been a tender already running, I have been advocating with the support of my champion to stop the tender whatsoever and redefine criteria. In the end of the day, which was my fault, I have lost the deal because I have failed to build enough champions on both sides of that literal fence. But the person that I built as a champion followed me in his next professional life and did the introduction and recommendations for me in the next place he worked for, because we built that trusted relationship that he knew he can rely on. That is the fundamental characteristic of an honest and good relationship with a champion. In the next episode, I'm going to talk to you about another important aspect, which is searching for and finding budget. Stay with me and subscribe.